Senior Report thanks Edmund Besch of Bristol Burgess Insurance Agency, 65 East Main Street, Westfield, for his generous grant to provide news to seniors. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Funding for Senior Report is provided in part by a grant from Andrew Goodell, Assemblyman for the 150th District of the New York State Assembly. Senior Report with Reed Powers thanks Westfield's Schultz Chevy for a generous grant to inform seniors of important news. Over 50 years of service to Westfield by Chevrolet, Schultz Chevy across from the school. The physicians of Jamestown Primary Care are happy to sponsor the Senior Report. From the Access Channel 5 television studio in Mayville, it's Senior Report with Reed Powers. Senior Report is broadcast live throughout northern Chautauqua County on Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. each week. Call in and share a thought, make a comment, ask a question, or simply wish someone a happy birthday on Chautauqua County's only live call-in senior program. Since 1995, Reed has been bringing viewers hundreds of interesting guests, informing the community on a variety of subjects. Here's the host of the show, Reed Powers.
And good morning. What a beautiful day in Chautauqua County, and considering all it is, it's like a spring warm up here because the temperatures have actually climbed up into the 20s. Oh, that's much better than the minus 17 on my porch a couple of days ago. The weather here is just unfathomable. I do not remember this kind of a winter my entire life, off and on up here in Chautauqua County, and I'm 75 years old. Great show coming up. We've got our old friend who shows up regularly here. She's the director of the Office of Aging, and Marianne, will be talking about issues of concern to seniors, about the heat, or the lack of heat now. That's the home heating, emergency heating thing, which it doesn't really have very much dough, but it helps a little bit. We have a lot of other things to talk about. The Obama nothing Congress, although they did pass a budget. Good Lord. What's going on there? Oh, well. And they also raised the debt ceiling so we could borrow more money without cutting back on expenses. We're living on the grandchildren's money, you know, now. That's the way it goes. All right, lots of other things happening in the world. I do want to say that the lack of action in Washington to help people out is just appalling. For instance, they just signed a bill, Obama did, after passed by the Congress, to cut your food stamps 10%. Well, now, they gave trillions of dollars to the banks. And what do they give the poor, the neediest, the sickest, the people most impoverished? You have to eat 10% less food this year. Yeah. A lot of seniors have been driven because of the lack of Congress giving them a true COLA in this inflation they've set up. You set up an inflation, then you don't give a COLA, the cost of living adjustment, so that they can make the difference up. You now wind up with a shopping basket half full from what it was 10 years ago. Yeah. No wonder seniors are all going on welfare and on food stamps. And, of course, the bad news is, seniors, tough on you, 10% less, eat less. Good God! Is this Congress representing the people of the United States or the rich and powerful? You decide. Here we go. I don't know. I got some senior news here that might be of interest to you. Some good news, anyway. Any news out of Washington is bad news, I'm afraid, friends. Lakeshore Seniors, the president over there is Stella Michalak, and she says there's going to be no meeting. Don't come in on February 19th if you want to have a meeting. You're here for bingo, big bingo. That's a lot of money, I guess. They're having a rummage sale at February 15th. Report over a little early at 8 a.m. Next meeting at the Lakeshore Seniors will be February 25. Sinclairville Seniors, they meet at the fire hall. Thank you, firemen, fire ladies and men, firefighters. I'm getting too old for this, I don't know, this politically correct stuff. They had a stone soup. Elaine Palmer-Titus was the master mixer for the soup. And, of course, you know stone soup. You start out with a stone, and then you put in, everybody brings something. You put in a little meat, a little hamburger, a little this, a little of that, some spaghetti, and whatever, you got a beautiful soup. Phil and Sherry Shea, I want to say congratulations, married February 27th, 1971. That's a long time ago. They're still happily married, or at least married. I didn't find out whether it was happily. Most people are happy by that time. They forget all the other stuff. They had an antique show over there. Here's some of the things they had. These are fascinating. They had an old metal woodpecker match holder, hard-boiled egg slicer. These are antiques now. A 1913 George Washington souvenir, a hand-crocheted woolen slip from her great-grandmother of Susan Sipos, old pocket knife, acorn carried by her father. These are some of the antiques they showed. That gets better. Linda Parmenter showed an old wireless stapler. Beverly Higgs showed an old candlewick trimmer. They had a penny arcade fortune teller, old engraved jewelry box. Been in her family for years. Family of Martha Harmon. It's fascinating. Old doll, 1885, which belonged to the mother of Smith. Old metal bank, old dinosaur bone found in the yard. I've never found a dinosaur bone anywhere. Heart-shaped vase. Said her grandmother had to give up her farm and gather some rocks from the farm, washed them and stored them in a heart-shaped glass box for her keepsake. Hey, they had a cedar baling a basket to take water out of a canoe. Lots of things. All right, next meeting of the group, March 11th at noon. The group, Sinclairville Senior Citizens. All right, now there's 50-plus people. They're over at Collins Center in that area. We're not going to bother them. I'll mention, let's see, I had one note I wanted to say. If time permits, they will stop at the Lady of Victory Basilica. A guided tour is not possible because the building is available for only half an hour prior to its closure for a wedding and a mass. How about that? Silver Creek, Ed Newman does the job. They have a nice little spot in Silver Creek, right about where 20 hits 5. They had a wrapped cup of candy, hey. And Smith called bingo, of course. There's always bingo. And let's see, they're telling me I'm running out of time. I've been gabbing away here too long. Dunkirk Senior Citizen Board of Directors, Barbara Badge does the job over there, and they're having a potluck dinner for March 17th, St. Patty's Day. They'll have corned beef, I know, and cabbage, potatoes. That's the game. I've got some right now cooking on my stove. I cannot wait that long. Big Bingo is going to be held February 19th, March 12th, and April 9th over at the Dunkirk Senior. Is it at the Dunkirk Senior? Yeah. Dunkirk Senior Center. Big Bingo is apparently a new thing, is that they have big prizes. At any rate, I got a fellow waiting behind the curtain here, ready to jump in, and his name is Doc Hamels. He'll be right with you. Meantime, this is for you, a public service announcement. Well, I think it'll be for you.
The environment is my passion. Every day, I live for the outdoors and all of its challenges. That's why I enlisted in the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
Now, I serve to protect the environment and
Yipper.
defend my country.
Thanks for reminding me, though.
It's like I was born for this.
Were you born ready for a greater challenge? Find out at gocoastguard.com.
That's a great way to serve in the armed forces, I might add, the Coast Guard. Here's a guy who shoots from the hip. Well, I think he does. We'll see here. There he goes. John Hamels. You're
Good
on
morning,
bound.
everybody.
I enlisted in
Hey,
the Coast Guard.
I'm hearing voices. Are you hearing that?
I heard something about the Coast Guard again.
Jeff, you're bad. Well, you liked it so much you want to hear it again. Well, good morning, everybody. And wow, last big push for winter here. I'm sort of half ready for today. My Rotary Club, the Westfield Mayville Rotary Club, is going to be doing the parking at the Ice Festival today. And boy, this is the year. There's a great castle. And they got all kinds of activities over there. And if you could... This is all you're going to see of me right here, about like this, my eyes. So if you recognize those eyes, just say hi. Ben Spitzer and I are going to be parking from 11 to 1 this morning.
God bless you for your gift in this weather.
Well, and it's $5 for parking, and it goes all to service organizations and to community action programs and not-for-profits in the area. So it's a great program, and we do thank you for your donations. But it's going to be a great day, and we're all looking forward to it. And it's right up until this evening. There's me fireworks and all that good stuff. So I remember years ago, I took our German exchange student, and I said, "You got to bundle up, Julie." And she goes, "Oh, I'm ready. I live in Germany." And I said, "But you don't understand. This is different
This
here.
is Mayville.
This is different here." And when I brought her back home, she was about just blue. It took her about 2 days to thaw out. So we always have a lot of fun memories of the ice castle and that. Well, anyways, just as a reminder, I'm going to remind everybody of this because it's one of those self-advertisements. March 14th, if you haven't seen it yet, I'll be playing with my partner Doc and Bill at the 1891 Opera House. We're going to be doing a night of Irish music with the dance troupe out of Buffalo. They're going to be dancing first, then we're playing, and they're going to be dancing. And I don't know, Reed, if you come out, they may get you on the stage doing
Well, I'd love to do the Irish dance.
There you go. Put your hands at your sides, feet in the air.
Cannot move your hands. You gotta stay right down there. And the Irish jig is something, I'll tell you.
It's a thing to behold. So, anyways, March 14th, go to the Fredonia Opera House website, and you can check out the tickets there. So, anyways, that's coming up. Well, Reed, I decided that it's time that we bring up something new and controversial. We haven't talked about We've been talking about the same old thing.
You don't like controversy.
I like to start things, and I like to run.
Pussycats and bluebirds and sunshine.
No. I like to pick and choose my battles. But I was just thinking about this on the way over, and I watched the president a couple times in the last month or so talking about some of the things on his agenda that's still left over from his original agenda. And I just thought about this, and I would love to hear people's views, so if you want to call in on this in the next, as we go along, because I'm going to keep talking about it. This whole thing about immigration. I was thinking about this. My grandmother, Dorothy, she was a legal alien. We always used to call her the alien in the family. She was never a citizen. So if the rules were really stringent, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd be in another country, probably Canada.
They sent you back to Poland.
So I had Poland. My family is nowhere near from that. I can't imagine who else would be Polish here. You can get to that later, Reed. Anyways, but my grandfather came over and was naturalized in 1920. My two grandparents on the Sicilian side of the family were naturalized and were citizens, and they all worked. But I just thought about this, Reed. Just think about this for 1 minute. What if we said every illegal alien has to leave the country tomorrow? What would the United States look like? I think the whole country would stop Still.
There'd be no cabbage.
But what there'd be a lot of nothing.
A lot of picking is taken care of by these folks who don't want. No one else wants to have this back-breaking, bending over.
Well, it's the
harvesting.
farming. There's the hotel trade business. There's people's. They have people
Taxis.
working in their homes. Yeah, and so let me continue on this a little bit. So I'm thinking, we had that zero growth population thing when we were all growing up. Don't only have 1.5 kids. Thank goodness I was the firstborn. And so when you look at the statistics of the world, the United States, for every one child is born, I think it's 6 babies are born in third world countries. So we are in a down spiral in growth. The baby boomer generation is moving now into retirement. So what's the size of the population, the generations behind us that are going to do the work? I don't think there's going to be enough people here in a few years to do the work. So I'm just talking from an economic point of view, is what did they do in the turn of the century, in the 1900s? They opened the doors. They had a system of processing people through Ellis Island. If you had some issues, they quarantined you till you got better. And those are the people that built the buildings, the railroads, they made our roads and everything else. So I think we need to rethink this carefully and at least find a way to bring folks into this country, welcome them, and the brightest and the best, and help them get naturalized and have them become taxpayers and contributors to society. Back to you, Reed.
There you go. You're right. And the biggest problem of all is we're being, in this country, there are more babies of mixed background than white babies being born right now.
Right.
In this country,
Yeah,
we're being outbirthed.
You go to Europe, that's very typical. It's a big melting pot, and people just haven't quite got that in their minds yet. That the typical white family is a thing of the past.
It's a minority.
Yeah, and it's all blended, and that's how we all are. It just happened. I come from a Sicilian, Belgian, Irish background, but if the Sicilian dominant coloring, if you will, would have been stronger, I would have dark hair and almost olive skin.
Well, you used to.
But what I'm getting at is it's like color is no big deal. It's just the way we are, and but our nation is changing, and I think we got to wake up to that point, because if we don't, we talk about ourselves as a super nation. I don't think we're going to be super anything.
Okay, thanks a lot, and all apologies to our Polish viewers for including John in your category. We have somebody with us who's not. She's Greek, pure Greek, and Spanos.
Polish and Italian.
Oh, really? Spanos is Greek.
I married a Greek. I married an immigrant.
Oh, okay. Well, you've
He's
always,
a naturalized citizen too.
You're at least one of our favorite Greek associated people we have on the show. And Slovakia. And what is that wonderful honey?
Lukumadas.
Lukumadas? That's not the name I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the...
But my maiden name was Madejski.
Baklava.
My maiden name was Madejski.
Madejski. So
My
that's
dad-
Italian, huh?
Szczęśliwego Nowego Roku.
Which means?
That's the greeting in Polish for the Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year. You told me that once before, I think.
probably did.
I didn't remember it, though, I only remember the Irish Happy New Year, which goes like this. Happy New Year to you, lassie.
I also sing a mean stolat.
What's that?
The stolat is like, it's not really the national anthem of Poland, but all Polish people know stolat. It's the wish for 100 years, and we sing it at every birthday in my home and in my extended family. My dad really kept up all the Polish traditions, so stolat.
Well, you're trying to convince me you're Polish, but I know you're Greek anyway, Marianne. So anyway, you're kind of involved with the Office for the Aging.
Kind of,
What do you do over there, besides you kind of keep track of what's available?
Well, I try to do a little bit of everything and be out in the public and let people know that there are services for seniors, and that the first place they should call if a senior needs help is the Office for the Aging. You don't have to be running around looking for something to help you stay in your home and stay independent in the community, which is where we know all seniors want to be. Just call Office for the Aging. We'll do all the research for you, and that's the premise behind our New York Connects helpline. Is to help seniors find what they need to stay in their homes and be successful through the end of life.
Well, the idea of staying at home, of course, it saves the government a bundle too. I'll tell you, to have somebody in a home, whatever.
Oh, it's extremely expensive. But when have
Right.
you heard of a senior who says, "Oh, I want to go to a nursing home"? How many of
I
them
say that all the
plan on that? You do?
Yeah.
You're a minority of one, I have to tell you, because most of the seniors want to stay home. But, you know, their children may live far away. As they start to get more frail and have issues, they don't have somebody to come in to help them. And Office for the Aging has a lot of programs and services. And I have to tell people, you know, we're so very fortunate. We've had a wait list for our home care for a couple years now. And due to the generosity of our county legislature, we have extra money and we are taking people off that wait list fast and furiously.
There's still a wait list though, right?
Well, you know, I don't want to say that there is because we're going through it so quickly. And we still haven't settled on the state budget. And if the state budget comes through, you know, we may have enough people to serve everyone and get rid of that wait list completely. So please call the, you know, our New York Connects helpline, 753-4582 or 363-4582, and talk to them about programs and services that can help you. So many times people call about one service, like meals, and we start talking to them because we really try to screen for all the different things that are available. And we tell them about things they never thought of. You know, people will call us and say, I think I need HEAP. I'm having trouble paying my heating bills. And we also talk to them about what they call Medicare Savings Program. There are a number of seniors who are eligible to have their Part B premiums paid by Medicaid. This is you don't go full on Medicaid, but if you're lower income, you might qualify to have your Part B premiums paid. This puts an extra $104 in your pocket every single month. How far would that go to paying heating bills, to buying whatever you need? So call New York Connects if you're struggling. You know, if we don't know what's available and we have a big database of services, we'll research it and get back to you. So you don't have to call this agency and that agency. Just call New York Connects.
Okay, it's right on the screen, guys, 753-4582, and that's a fount of information. And we have a phone call. Marianne, you want to take it?
Sure.
Okay, you're on.
Good morning. I was looking at a local bulletin board that has business cards for people, and I saw one that caught my eye, and when I saw on the Channel 5 website that you were going to be on, I made a note to ask you.
Okay.
This particular person was advertising for Senior Benefit Advisor. They claim to be able to help with Medicare plans, supplements, and other items, including low-income subsidy information. I was wondering what you'd say to seniors about when they're looking at this, and, you know, do you suggest going someone like this who I assume is charging for this service, or would you rather they visit the Office of the Aging?
They might be selling.
Well, what a good question, because, you know, the low-income subsidy is exactly what I was just telling you about, and Office for the Aging has trained, certified health insurance counselors. We don't charge. We do ask for donations as we're required to by the federal government, and everything we get in donations goes right back into serving more people. But this service is available. You don't have to pay for this service through, you know, some places are charging $40, $50, $60 an hour to get the same service, and from Office for the Aging for a donation. And it's because we're partially subsidized by the state and federal government for this purpose. And you know that Office for the Aging isn't selling anything. We don't work for any of the insurance companies. So if you go to, what I try to tell people is if you go to independent health, they're terrific, but they only tell you about independent health programs. If you go to a Community Blue or Blue Cross Blue Shield worker, they will tell you about Blue Cross Blue Shield. Office for the Aging will tell you, will compare the two plans. We'll tell you about all the different plans that are available in our county, things you should consider. And we don't tell you which one, but we tell you the pros and cons of each so that you can make an informed decision.
So just to clarify, you'd suggest going to the Office of the Aging versus someone like this?
You know, I don't think that yes, I do, because you're not going to get any better service by paying $40, $50, $60 an hour. We really are the certified, all of our counselors are certified to provide health insurance counseling on Medicare and all the Medicare Advantage plans.
Okay, I was just wondering because this person claimed to have 20 years of service in this specific field.
Well, there are people out there that have 20 years of experience, but so do some of the Office for the Aging workers have 20 years of experience doing this. And I would check to see if this person is certified by the state of New York, because the last 2 years they have offered a certification for health insurance counseling. And because the insurance is changing every single year, you have to go, our staff goes to numerous trainings all year long about the Medicare plans, about Advantage plans, about the low-income subsidy, about Medicaid. So we're constantly training our staff. And that's really important because the landscape is constantly changing.
Okay, caller, does that do it?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your call, and send me a stamped send me a stamped self-addressed box, and we will send you a whole collection of Nixon medals for elections. You know those little election pins you used to have?
Yeah.
This could happen. We have one anyway. Marianne Spanos talking about Office of Aging. I want to second what she just said. Basically, if you're interested in insurance information, if you just go out there, you may get somebody there to simply to sell you their insurance. It's that simple. They're going to tell you all about theirs and why it's better. If you go to the Office of Aging, you'll get a independent. Nobody's selling you, nobody's pushing you, nobody's charging you. They'll give you the information you need, and there's no pressure. They're not trying to sell you their insurance plan. They'll give you everybody. And I've been doing this myself for almost 50 years. I started out in Long Island, and I'm working under an Office of the Aging grant from the state.
Okay.
And that was my role, really, is to tell seniors where to go for good information, and especially on that. HEAP. Any HEAP money left? That's to warm your cockles of your heart.
Well, there is HEAP money, and if you haven't gotten a HEAP benefit and you're having trouble with your heating bills, the Department of Social Services, as we've said, has taken over that program. But if you've already gotten a HEAP benefit and are still having trouble, call our New York Connects helpline. What people don't realize is after you exhaust HEAP, there are benefits through through your utility provider. So has anybody ever seen, donate $1 for neighbor? All of the different utility companies have a fund, but you must apply and get your HEAP benefit first, and then you can apply for utility assistance. And Office for the Aging is still helping with that. We also do things through Empower New York. One is called Care and Share. As I said, each utility provider has funds that can help you after HEAP is exhausted. And then, as I said, we're also helping people sign up for the low-income subsidy, the Medicare Savings Plan, and if you're eligible for HEAP, you're probably eligible for that, and that puts a lot more money in your pocket. So call New York Connects, and we'll see how we can help you.
Therefore, yeah, if you start getting cold in your house, dozens of seniors freeze to death every winter because they don't have heat. If you start getting a little chilly in your house, call Marianne immediately or call 911, but don't freeze to death. Well, God sake, yesterday they had somebody on TV. they found frozen in their house. It's outrageous.
Here in Chautauqua County?
I don't know if it's in
I
Chautauqua
don't think it was
County.
in Chautauqua County, but
Well, it could have been the day before, though.
but you know, I
No,
think
not here.
I think many of
somewhere.
our seniors and our community members are very cognizant about the cold weather, and we have a great community of neighbors, and we encourage everybody, our younger neighbors, to get out and check on your older neighbors to make sure that they are warm and have food and water and the things that they need. But call New York Connects if you're struggling. We're really waiting and willing to help you.
Okay, Joe Gerasi has a new program I wanted to mention. That is the enhanced 911.
Well, or reverse 911?
No, it's enhanced.
Enhanced, okay.
What they do, well, I don't know if that's what they call it, but what it does is take down all your information, medical information, everything. You put it online, or you can just call them and they'll take notes. And then when the 911 call goes out from your house, this all goes along with it. It tells them what your meds are, what your situation is, how many people are living there, what their ailments are, what their condition is, how old they are, and how frail maybe. So they get this all in one whack when somebody calls 911 about your place.
Well, it is good that he can log some information, especially, you know, and probably caregivers can do this for their parents. It's very important to do that, and then they know exactly what situation they're walking into. The other thing that we've partnered with Joe Gerasi on is making sure that everybody has those house number signs. Can't tell you that how difficult sometimes it is to find a house in rural Chautauqua County when there's lots of snow, when it's very dark and the house is far away from the road. These house numbering signs are glow-in-the-dark green and white. Sometimes some of the towns have their own initiative and have done red and white or blue and white. They glow in the dark. But if you don't have a town that's undertaken this and you have, you know, it's difficult to find your house from the road, you really should think about getting one of these from the sheriff's office. He will do it for a $10 donation. And even provide a poll to put in.
They'll put it up for you too, right?
Yeah, they may help you with putting it up too, because they think it's so important.
Yeah.
And I've been a healthcare worker who's gone out to Ripley and Cayenne and different areas of the county that it's difficult to figure out, you know, what road I'm on, let alone where the house is, and see the numbers that might be on the house that's far away from the road. So I think it's really important, because sometimes when 911 is called, it's critical to find you as soon as possible.
One of the exceptional applications of that is a blue light that flashes. You can put it in your porch light or in a lamp in your window, and if you turn that on, they will see you immediately. They'll know just where you are and who you are. They know you're the one that's called in, and they can stop and run down your 4,500-foot driveway and get to your house. They'll see it. Marianne, I just wanted to talk one brief word here. If you get into these sort of problems, you press the button. Now, what's a button? This little thing they carry around their neck or on their wrist even now?
Yeah, we call them personal emergency response systems. People sometimes like to call them Lifeline, but Lifeline is a brand name. So they're all called personal emergency response. You've seen them advertised by the former Attorney General. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Right.
You know,
He's dressed like a woman, I might add. I've seen that.
Well,
ad.
you hear him talking, and then you see the woman saying, I've fallen and I can't get up. Well, there are a bunch of different brands of these available, but Chautauqua County, because we offer this as part of our home care services, we are also offering a private pay option to anybody in the county who needs this service. At $25 a month, and that's less because we have some buying power. We help about over 400 seniors pay for this service. So when we can, if you can't afford it, you can apply to the Office for the Aging. We may be able to help you pay for it. but we've also tried to use our buying power to get you this discount. There is no installation fee. We do ask for the first month's payment up front as they're going to install it, but it's just $25 a month. And it's not ideal for everybody, as far as there are other Lifeline programs or PERS, Personal Emergency Response programs, that are more portable. So, you know, the one we do is through Doyle Medical Monitoring out of Rochester. There are others that have different features that you may need. So call New York Connects. We will not tell you just about ours, but we'll tell you about all the available personal emergency response units, and you make a decision about
$5 makes it easier. That's a 20% discount.
Well, as I said, you know, there's funding available through Office for the Aging. So people who meet, you have to be over 60 and have some difficulty, you know, in your activities of daily living, and you may be eligible for partial payment by the Office for the Aging. But if there's a lot of people who aren't 60 who have health concerns and may want one of these, you can still get it at, you know, the private pay rate of $25 a month. So
there you go. I wish everybody get together on age. You know, in some cases you're senior at 50, then you get the discounts at 55, and then it's at 60, and then some until 65, like their Medicare. Maybe they could get together and make one age. Marianne Spanos.
It would be nice, but don't tell me we're a senior at 50. I'm turning 50
well,
in March.
AARP. You know, everybody send you your AARP senior exemption programs.
Yeah.
Talk a little about that, will you?
Well, you know, it's February, and around March 1st is the deadline for the STAR exemption.
March 1st, guys, don't forget that.
March 1st.
If you want the enhanced, which is more money seniors get it, you've got to go down and visit your tax collector before March 1st and take your papers from last year.
Well, I would recommend, first of all, people that are under 65 needed to reapply for the STAR program this year. Now, there's been some confusion in the news whether seniors have to reapply or not.
I was told I should, but I
would
did.
really recommend that you give your assessor a call and just make sure that you're all set, both for your basic STAR and your enhanced STAR benefit. I was at the United Senior Council meeting the other day, and we had one of the local assessors come in and talk about enhanced STAR and what they call income verification forms. This was something you could do to auto-renew your enhanced STAR benefit. And apparently it's not as auto-renewing as we think, because if there has been a change in your income, then you do need to fill out some forms. So I would really recommend that all seniors give a call to your local assessor's office. Ask them if you're all set for both your regular STAR and your enhanced STAR program. The enhanced STAR can give you up to 50% off your school taxes, but there is income guidelines, and it may be a little different in each township. So you got to call your local clerk or local assessor and ask about that. We also have the forms at Office for the Aging, so you can call our New York Connects helpline if you need the forms, and we're happy to send them out to you.
Now, I go sit down with my tax assessor every year, and she's just a sweetheart, or one of the nicest people on earth. And she tells me exactly what to do, gives me the forms, and helps me fill them out.
Great.
And at the age of 75 almost, I need help.
Well, most of our local assessors are
Terrific.
Are our neighbors, so
Yeah.
they're very good about helping you with those
Right.
kind of things. But do give them a call first, and they could probably just look up it to see if you're okay for this year before sending, bombarding them with a lot of new forms.
Especially since your taxes are all filed with the state anyway. But you still have to bring your tax form in. It's pretty silly because the state has it already. They can pop it up in a wink. But at any rate, do it. March 1st, deadline. You don't do it, it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars, folks. So make sure you do it. Especially those people who are not 65. You still save quite a bit under the regular STAR. But 65ers, make sure you check with your tax assessor. in town hall, village hall, whatever.
Exactly.
Okay, so there's some new stuff going on in the Congress for seniors. The bill that perpetuated the senior program seems to be, let's say it's not working too well.
Well, I have to say I'm very excited that there's some movement on what you call the Older Americans Act.
That's the act I'm trying to think of, you know.
Well,
but I'm an older American.
I have some good progress to report.
Let's hear about
very,
it.
Very exciting news. Well, for the Older Americans Act is the main legislation that then money has to be appropriated to it that comes to the Office for the Aging. That established our office and established the programs that we do that serve seniors that can't get Medicaid and they can't get a veterans benefit. People who, you know, are not into any other entitlement. That's where Office for the Aging comes in. Well, it's very concerning because 2 years ago it was supposed to be reauthorized and there was no movement happening. Then Senator Bernie Sanders and some other senators started talking about it last year, but we saw no movement in the House of Representatives at all. This past year, our New York State Office for the Aging directors have had many meetings with our House of Representatives. And I have to say, last month, I was so very excited that Congressman Reed, along with Congressman Gibson, who's in a different part of New York State, introduced the Older Americans Act into the House of Representatives. And this week they're starting to talk about it. So this is great movement forward. So when I handed out fans this month and all of you called your congressmen and senators about that, thank you, because you really made a difference in bringing attention to this and getting the congressmen focus on older adults. And I'm hoping that this month we can also start talking to our state representatives because the governor of the New York has introduced his budget and there is level funding for the offices for the aging at this point.
What's level funding?
That means they're not giving us an increase, and we haven't had an increase in our state funding since 2010. And that's contributing to why there are wait lists.
4 years.
Yeah.
4 years.
There are 7,000 people across New York State, 7,000 seniors on wait lists for home care, for meals, for those personal emergency response buttons, and for a lot of different things. And, you know, wait lists do not tell the story because my wait list was 2 years old before we were able to start taking people off of it. Who in their 90s wants to go on a wait list that's 2 years old? We really need to get the message to our governor, to our legislative representatives that we need to put more money into services for older adults. So there is initiative on part of the our Directors Association and Lifespan of Rochester, the New York State Coalition on Aging, AARP, and the Council of Senior Centers. And they are all asking that the governor add $26 million to Community Services for the Elderly program. That is our funding source that can go for a variety of things. It can go for home care, it can go for meals, it can go for transportation. And why that's so important is because in our county, maybe I have a wait list for home care. In another county, they might have a wait list for meals or transportation. This will give the Offices for the Aging flexibility to put the funding wherever it's needed.
Okay, that's one of the great glitches in the programs for seniors is there's beautiful programs. Unfortunately, it's not available because there's no money. You have a wait list. The wait list thing is creaming us. You got another couple of calls. So take a call.
Yes, let's take a call.
Okay, caller.
Good morning. I'm very much enjoying the show, and thank you, Dr. Spanos, for all the information. It would appear to me that every so often there are some devious evildoers in the world that just like to prey on senior citizens with scamming. Could you tell us, are there any current scams that are going on, especially in Chautauqua County, that we should be aware of?
I know one.
There are some every single day. You know, we've been involved with ones where, you know, you get a message or an email that your a loved one or friend is stuck in some foreign country and please fax me, you know, a couple $100. You know, those are scams. There are, you know, people that, you know, are calling you claiming to represent Medicare or Medicaid, and they want your information to verify it over the phone. Don't do those things. These are scams. Don't give out your personal information. Don't give out your Medicare numbers over the phone. You know, come to the Office for the Aging. You call social services. You call Social Security. They're not usually calling you to verify that information. If you're ever unsure, please call our office. We'll let you know. I have seniors every day sending me letter solicitations that they get in the mail, and they want to know, you know, some are asking them. We were just talking about the Older Americans Act in Congress and the state budget. There are scams that go out and say, you know, your Social Security is in jeopardy. They send you a letter. Send us $10, or, you know, you may lose this or that or the other thing. No, don't do that. Please call our office. Please send us those letters that you're getting so we can forward them up to the Attorney General's office or to the local Sheriff's Department. We also like people to call the National Consumer Protection Bureau. I know a lot of seniors are not online, but if you can get a family member to help you, the National Consumer Protection Bureau is so aware that financial exploitation of seniors is exploding. And so they have added like 800 lawyers at the federal level to try to deal with this and combat it.
There you are.
So we really encourage you to report anything you see suspicious.
Gerasi wants you to call him too.
Yeah, yeah, we work hand in hand with him. If I get something, you know, I will, you know, CC him so he knows about it. If he hears about something, he tells me. So we really try to work together.
There you go. I keep getting a utility bill from some outfit out in Oregon or whatever. They send it immediately, or shut me down.
Yeah.
And it's, you go online. Usually these things are all reported. There's a whole bunch of reports on this crowd, bunch of scumbags. All right, we got another call. Come on, caller, you're on.
Good morning. By the way, speaking of, I live in Westfield, and you know, we have our own electric. We're not tied into the. And I'm always getting these phone calls about how they're going to save me money on my electric bill. And so I say, wait, I'm going to save you and me a lot of time. We are not on the public grid. We are a privately owned, village-owned electric company. I am not. Oh, well, thank you for the information, but they never asked for the town name.
Right,
Yeah.
So
and they're all illegal. I usually just respond with one word. It starts with an F.
Well, sometimes,
fudge, huh?
sometimes there are these programs. We had a problem with, there's these buying groups with utilities, and
That's probably what
it may be electric that's included in that we're actually going door to door. They're not illegitimate, but they can cause you a big problem, especially if you've already signed up for another one and don't realize it. So really don't, you know, look into these things. Call the Office for the Aging. We'll tell you whether this will legitimately save you money or not.
And believe me, they don't want to give you that time. They are so pushy. I had
they
one
are
at my
very
door,
pushy.
and she got so angry because I wouldn't sign up. And I said, I never sign up at the door. I wait until I've had time to think things over.
Well, if you've got people coming door to door, though, you should call me, because I've had you know, they need to get a permit from the local
That's
township.
what I meant when I say they're illegal. You should call your village immediately.
Well,
I should say, I'd like to see your permit.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
But some of them have gotten permits, and on our local officials, they don't always know what the impact of these letting people go door to door is on seniors. So I've had some great conversations with different villages saying, really don't renew this. This is really causing it can cause this and this problem for your seniors, and then they won't renew their permits.
There you go.
Good
Thank
idea.
you.
Report it if
Right.
Please do.
Caller, don't forget, call your village immediately, or 911, something. Get them on their case. They run like fleas, incidentally. They'll jump over the next house before you turn around.
Absolutely. You can see it happening.
Okay.
I do have one comment. I
Sure.
would like to...
Caller, hold on. We'll be with you.
Oh.
I'm not talking to you, madam.
Oh, okay.
You got another caller.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it's just a real quick. I've had occasion to use the... what is the name of her...
Office for the Aging?
Yes, you go. There you go. When my body told me, hey, it's time, I went there for help about selecting insurance and stuff like that. And they don't tell you what to do, but they give you everything you need to know, and if you have a question, they explain to you what this means or that means. You guys were so helpful.
Thank you for the wonderful words.
Thank you.
This is your mother, I assume, right?
My mom's in Florida right now.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Thank you,
bye now.
caller. We got
Okay,
more
thank
calls.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Caller, you're on.
We lost our other caller.
Couldn't wait that long. Okay, Marianne, we're kind of closing the program. I just wanted to... Oh, she's still here? Okay, good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mary Ann. Good morning, Reed. This is Linda. It's so good to see you on the show this morning, Mary Ann.
Thank you, Linda. Always a pleasure.
Did you drive by that gorgeous ice castle this morning?
I did.
I had the great opportunity of perfect timing last night to be driving by right when the fireworks started. I think there's fireworks with my dogs right now. And when they lit the castle, it really was so impressive. I'm so glad they've had a good year for that.
Mm-hmm.
I miss your other dog. What was Spritzy or something like that?
Squirty, yeah.
Squirty,
Well, he would play the piano for you. These fellas can't.
Yeah. So at any rate, how's the village out there with all the fishermen on the ice?
All the fishermen are out there. There's a lot of snowmobilers out there, too, and at night.
Yeah, the snowmobiling really helps our economy. These guys come through here and they spend the time here. They go to the restaurants, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great to see them. Well, I just wanted to mention that people on our senior aid program through the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging are getting jobs. People are being hired. Our businesses are appreciating the value of the senior worker. Also, we have free computer training at the Patterson Library in Westfield, at the Dunkirk Free Library, and also at the Jamestown Office for the Aging.
Well, I wanted to mention that, as Marianne points out, a lot of seniors aren't online. But remember, the computer came up and was the people who were buying PCs 15 or 20 years ago. These people are now seniors. They should know. They should have been in on it for years.
Well, and I really encourage seniors, especially this year. We've got some news about the Social Security offices toward the end of the year. They are not going to be providing letters if you go into the office. They are expecting people to sign up online and get this, get any information you need from the Social Security office via email. So it's going to be really important for seniors to start to think about becoming connected. And the first step would be to join one of the classes under our senior aid program. We can show you basics on how to set up an email and how to search for things online, because the government is turning to that more and more. They're just expecting people to be online, and it's hard because a lot of seniors are not. But in the future, this may be the only way you can get the information you need. So I really encourage seniors to sign up for one of these classes. We've got these terrific coaches at all these different places who give you one-on-one attention. They're Office for the Aging workers, so you know that they're not going to try to scam you, and they're going to help you be able to get the information you need.
There you go. Thank you, caller.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you, and thank you, Marianne, for explaining all of that about the computer training. And have a wonderful weekend and enjoy the festivities at the Mayville Park today.
Well, happy President's Day, too.
Exactly.
I know it.
Yeah, we just had Valentine's Day. Now we got President's Day. I love my presidents.
Well, it used to be nice, though, when we had the 12th off for Lincoln of February and the 22nd for Washington, because then at least the kids in school could remember when their birthdays were.
Also, we did have to move one of them over for Martin Luther King's birthday.
Oh, that's right.
That's what happened.
I do want to mention one more thing before we have
You're
to
on.
say goodbye, but February is Heart Month for women, and that's why I'm wearing red today. Go red for women.
I thought it was Valentine's.
It's also Valentine's, but we have to remember the #1 killer of women is heart disease. And it's because many of the signs and symptoms for women are so different from men. And so women really need to check into their risk. There are different tools online, or ask your doctor next time you see him, am I at risk for heart disease? Because sometimes the symptoms are just not there. For women, it can be lightheadedness or nausea, pain in the upper back. It can be, sometimes they mistake it for symptoms of flu. Sometimes women think they might be having a heart attack and they take an aspirin, but they don't call 911. Heart disease, and women who smoke, they have a 50% increased risk for heart problems if they smoke. So really, this is a big issue for women. You may not think heart attacks don't just happen to men. They are happening to a lot of women, and they're killing a lot of women. So please, please, please check out your risk with your doctor, and make sure you attend to those symptoms and get help right away.
The same, I might say, for men. It's #1 killer of men, too.
It is, but I think there's been so much news about the symptoms that men, that crushing in your chest, the pain down your left arm, those are very typical for men, and women might not have that at all. So they don't think that it's a heart attack.
Yeah, women don't think heart attack as much as men do, too.
Right.
I was out shoveling snow yesterday, and I kept thinking, I could have a heart attack doing this. This is rough stuff.
Well, and you're right about one thing, is doing very strenuous activities like shoveling snow in the cold puts so much extra pressure on your heart, so it's not unusual that people who are predisposed or have, plaque in their arteries might suffer a heart attack during strenuous activity in the cold.
Yeah, a little bit of that stuff gets loose.
If you're having that, stop immediately and call your doctor.
Yeah, okay, there you go, guys. If you're feeling, if you think you're having a heart attack, you probably are. Call a doctor or call a hospital or get your...
take that aspirin and call 911.
Yeah, get your aspirin over to the hospital.
There's a great website for those of you that are searching the web. It's just called heart.org, and it has a lot of signs and symptoms and stories about how to reduce your risk, as well as the signs to know if you're having a heart attack.
Thank you very much, Marianne Spanos, doing the job. Office of the Aging. If they want to get in touch with you, give us one phone number.
Oh, I'll say call our helpline at 753-4582. That's the New York Connects helpline, or 363-4582.
Yeah, that's two numbers. You'll never remember two numbers.
Well, it's just the toll free. The last four digits are the same. 4582, but you can call toll free from the Dunkirk-Fredonia area, 363.
I want to thank you, Marianne, for giving up your Saturday morning. Will you come back soon?
Certainly I will.
Okay, great. You're
always
one
a
of my
pleasure.
favorite Greek guests.
Polish, Italian.
Chuck Kelsey, thank you for setting this up. Devin Taylor, Chris Burt, Randy Burt, Chris Remaker, Jeff Zook, occasionally Don Zenz, and always the best, John Hamels, doing the job over here. Have a wonderful, wonderful President's Day. And remember, if it weren't for the presidents, we would have a problem in Washington, although the Democrats tell us, or the Republicans tell us we do now because of the president, but whatever. Don't eat so much anymore. 10% off on your food stamps now. You get 10% less food stamps, seniors who have been driven into food stamps, sadly. But the good news is you're alive and well, and the Office for Aging is there for you. May all that is proud and true and noble abide with you. I'm Reed Powers.